I think my prediction is Gavin Newsom with that appearance actually tanked his chances. I think you're going to see people by the summer, especially as it all goes to hell, because it's going to go to hell by April, May. I think that anyone who's complicit will be seen as one of those white moderates that MLK warned about, and what people will support, in my opinion.
I wanted to get your thoughts on some news earlier today, somewhat controversial when it involves Gavin Newsom. So Gavin Newsom met with Charlie Kirk. I think we both could agree Charlie Kirk is a despicable human being.
Terrible.
He's a white supremacist sympathizer, and he's just an awful person, and uneducated too. I'll throw that one in there too. So I agree with Gavin Newsom and Charlie Kirk on this specific point, though. Yes, I don't believe that if you're a born man, transition to a woman, you probably shouldn't be competing with women on the playing field. And I said that on Piers Morgan yesterday, even though I think that it's not a top 5 or a top 10 issue, and MAGA Republicans are obsessed with this issue. But what do you make of Gavin Newsom meeting with Charlie Kirk, putting out pictures and stuff, and showing some common ground with a guy like that? How does that make you feel? Are you okay with that?
No. So my take on this, and I was thinking about writing a Substack article right after I finished your program, is some Democrats need to be launched into the sun, figuratively. They need to retire. And I'll give you an example. Right before that State of the Soviet Union, Senator Warner of Virginia, I don't know if you caught that clip of him. He goes on Fox and says, well, civility, he's the president, so I guess I got to go. And then he praises Donald Trump on his immigration. I'm like, you told me that this man is a threat. You called him a fascist. You said that this man is authoritarian, and now you're normalizing him and praising him. Now, I don't know if you saw the MSNBC clip with Warner the day after, where he goes, yeah, I made a mistake. Whoopsie. Secondly, you had Hakeem Jeffries, Democratic leader, telling Democrats to respond in a tame way. And so as 77-year-old Al Green showed some moxie and lifted up his cane and talked about saving Medicare and Medicaid, all these other Democrats with these tiny little ping pong paddles, and they waved it around. And as of today, 10 Democrats joined Republicans in censuring Al Green. Like you mentioned on Pierre's show, where was the censoring of Marjorie Taylor Greene? Where was the censoring of Lauren Boebert? Nothing. And so I see this, and I see this strategy of Democratic leadership and centrists and the money. If we move to the right on certain issues, if we concede, then maybe they'll love us. And this is what I want to remind them. I've been in this game for a while too. Look at this hair. I've been following this movement. They'll never love you. They think you're pedophiles. They think you're scum. They think you're atheists. They think you're godless. The only thing that will happen is the Overton window will shift to the right. The center will shift to the right. You'll keep conceding on all these issues. You've already conceded on immigrants. Tom Homan, the border czar, is perfectly fine with deporting citizen children of undocumented immigrants. Just wait. You're going to have some Democrats say, that's fine. Lake and Riley Act, disgusting. Majority, not a majority, but 40 plus Democrats signed on for the Lake and Riley Act. For those who don't remember, now immigrants who are simply charged, folks, charged with a crime like shoplifting by a cynical manipulation. And so what Republicans are going to do, they're not stupid. They're like, oh, we got you on trans athletes. We got you on Latinx. We got you on immigrants. Okay, let's get you on, what do you say about gay marriage? A lot of Americans, what do we say about these Muslims? How about these Haitians, right? What about Palestine, Israel, Gaza? What about the EU? What about Ukrainians? And then all these Democrats, like dogs, think that if they chase this like bell to the center, this mythical center, which no longer exists, Brian, that somehow Republican voters who have rejected them for 10 years will somehow win them over. Has it worked, Brian? I'll give you another example. Slotkin, in her response after the State of the Soviet Union, she praises Reagan. She mentions Reagan like 10 times. And I'm like, who cares? Reagan was terrible, right? The bear hugging of Liz Cheney. I'm glad you got Liz Cheney. You want to expand the pie. But the bear hugging of Liz Cheney, Brian, to the exclusion of your own base. The fact that you would have a Liz Cheney and you wouldn't even have a Palestinian or even a transgender activist speak at the DNC. Did it help you? And so this is where I'm saying, Brian, is I think my prediction is Gavin Newsom with that appearance actually tanked his chances. I think you're going to see people by the summer, especially as it all goes to hell, because it's going to go to hell by April, May. I think that anyone who's complicit will be seen as one of those white moderates that MLK warned about, and what people will support, in my opinion, because I'm old enough. I remember the same thing happened after 9/11. George W. Bush was loved. I was always against it. I was on the right side of history. Thank you. I tried to bring some receipts. Remember what happened in 2006, Brian?
Sure.
I think
Absolutely.
the same thing's going to happen here.
So I think you're right. A lot to dissect there. And I agree with just about everything you just said. I think a lot of these Democrats, quite frankly, are cowards.
Yeah.
And I think they would, and I said this on Pierce yesterday, I feel like they would have been better off by either doing one of two things. And you tell me if you agree, Wajahat. So number one, don't show up to the speech at all. I think that was option number one. Just don't show up. Or number two, disrupt in some way, shape, or form, leave in the middle. But don't just sit there with that stupid smirk on your face, like that Michael Knowles smirk that we see all the time. Don't just sit there and put up your stupid ping pong paddles or bingo cards or whatever the hell that is.
The Michael Knowles smirk.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. But like, I felt like the Democrats missed on a huge opportunity to make a statement. Just don't show up. Or if you're going to show up, disrupt a little bit.